Hello. So I'm back. Hi, Matty and Ponky and Woof and Telescope. Holiday was nice. It was great. It was hot. The Netherlands was hot. It was nice. And yeah, and I'm back. Let's reduce the chat. There we go. Yeah, no, it was really lovely. And now that I'm back, weather in Scotland is actually not too bad either. So still enjoying the remainder of the summer. Joaquin, nice to see you. So yes, yeah. How's everyone? How are you? Good, I hope. But biked. Kira, nice to see you. 2 hours cycle. I know, but you've got to do it when the weather is good, right? I'm a total fair weather cyclist, and you know, not up for doing it in the pouring rain. But graduated, congratulations! That's fantastic. Yeah, that's really great. So. Cool. Stuff to do. Yeah, time to work, time to get going. And let's see. Okay, there's some issues that I might tackle. The first thing, the biggest one before the release of 3.13 is some view type issues. And some of these might be us, some of them might not be. So I first want to replicate the behavior, the bug, which is triggered by a release of view router, but isn't a view router bug as such. Qubit, good to see you. Or Qt. Okay, so we're installing a new Nuxt app. I think we can reproduce this just directly here. And then I want to basically tweak stuff and see what we can do to fix. And ideally, I think there's some view TSC behavior as well that isn't quite working, and I want to fix that too. I'd like to see if I can replicate that too. Because we've got a new Nuxt project, and I think we will already see that there is an issue. Okay, so here we are in our app, and these are not typed. Oh, this is actually, I think, either a VS Code or a bug. Let's see if I can reload the window to trigger it. Umar Berry, good to see you. Yeah, so they're now working. Cool, so that's good. This is not, but this one is. Okay, we have to investigate that. Component type. So it was working fine. So this is a change, I suspect, in view TSC, but we'll have to see what the problem is. Okay, so we have, we'll create a script setup, and I want to debug some issues here. So first, we should have access to $route in the, yep, that's working fine. And we should have access to config, that's working fine. Okay. We also want to have, and we just need to prove that this is, we want something that we can type check. So I'm going to install VueTSC and TypeScript. And I want to be able to run VueTSC no met watch and have this pass. Okay, so everything is working fine. And let's add some more assertions because we want to catch it when these things go to any. So we'll have a function is not any, and it's going to take a prop, which is going to be, I guess, we'll say it needs to be a string. And we want to run, just want to assert that these things are not strings, right? So we are deliberately causing an error, which is quite a useful thing to be able to do. So we want to be able to say TS expect errors. There should be an error here. These should be typed. Cool. Mate, yes, this is along those lines. This is about the typing issues that we are experiencing at the moment. So so we have that, and we also want to have the same kind of thing here. We want to be able to say we can call use Nuxt app. Oops. Use Nuxt app, and we should also have access to these same things here. So config and root, say. And we also should be able to call get current instance and get them off of view like this, and also root. Okay, so these are, yes, absolutely. Nice to see you, by the way. It's been a long time since we chatted. Yes, Bobby, good to see you too. Well, I want to get this fully resolved. And it's also not just an issue with Nuxt. Anyway, I want to confirm that. So basically, we want to do again the same thing, where we say is not any, and then is not any, and we also basically I'm wanting to make sure that we can. This is in the nature of a type test. So accessing the property shouldn't throw an error, but passing it into this is not anything should, because they're not strings. And so we're just going to say TS expect error. These are typed. Cool. So this is all good. This is what we want, 0 errors. And I also want to take all of this and pull this into a normal TypeScript file. Like this. And these should also all be fine. And I should even be able to run TSC, and that should also work. Okay, so these are all expected. Now, there's also this additional issue here, where I have some components, which I'm going to import so I can use them. Okay, so we have some components, and we have a, say, going to pull out Nuxt welcome, and also say Nuxt layout. And these should be typed. So no, but they're not. So Nuxt welcome is typed as any. So what I want is to say, again, that I should be able to pull in Nuxt welcome, and that should not be right. So that's correctly throwing an error. And then I should do the same with Nuxt layout, and that one is typed, so it's working fine. So this is the only issue we have at the moment, that first one. And that is, I think, going to be an issue for TypeScript as well, but that will always be the case because TypeScript just doesn't understand the type of a view file, a view import. Now, if I open Nuxt welcome, we have a declaration here. And it points us, I think, to the right file. So we have that. It has a .view extension. If I add the .view extension, it doesn't make any difference. It's still showing up as an error here. In fact, this, this is also picking up the type test error. So but it's still showing up as an error here. So we have to investigate what's going on. Now, we made some changes to fix some of these issues in Nuxt. Let's just see what view router version we have. Yeah, the latest. So what we're going to do is we're going to update to the nightly version, and these changes, basically the only issue is the Nuxt welcome one. There's going to be some more issues. So let's update to the latest Nuxt nightly version. And let's see which one it is. It should be this one. Cool. and we want to update to npm Nuxt nightly at that. And we're just going to quickly reinstall. Oh, and I'm just going to clear out some of the stuff that doesn't matter here, like the README. So we've got a nice minimal project. And for goodness sake. Okay, so we've got a nice minimal project. I don't want to lose it. Okay, so we have our installation, and let's just run prepare again. And what we should find is interesting. Okay, so this is interesting. This is all working. Let's see what happens if we pull in, if we make this a view router project. So now instead of pulling in the Nuxt dependencies, we're pulling in the view router types for route. It all seems to be working the same way. Okay, let's see, what does Bobby's issue say here? Nuxt page, config.public. Oh, yeah. So basically, what we see in the nightly version is that we do have an issue in the template. Now, I don't know why this isn't appearing. We only have one in each place. Maybe if we accessed it like this. That will show up. That's so weird. Yes, so the reason I'm looking at this is that Ecosystem CI caught some issues with types. So all of these fails here are type related. So here in the UI types, there's no root property available. Elk also has types for all kinds of auto-imported utilities that aren't available. And scripts is a type issue, but a slightly different one. I need to investigate that one separately. But basically, and I think Nuxt.com also has the root. No, it also has all kinds of auto-imported things. So basically, auto-imports don't seem to be working, and this injected root also doesn't seem to be working. And that's a big problem. So I want to see if I can reproduce this in a minimal kind of way. And I am testing on nightly at the moment. Afternoon life skill. Yes, exactly. So view router changed to augment just view. And so we want to do the same in Nuxt. Basically, we want to move the ecosystem so we only augment view and not view router. And so that's going to change, therefore, all kinds of stuff that we are generating in Nuxt. So I'm just going to manually change those things right now to see how long we can get everything still passing. So I'm going to drop middleware and layouts. I'm going to drop it's weird. So basically, okay. So basically these are showing up as errors in in the IDE, but Vue TSC is not detecting them as errors. So weird. Okay. So, oh, it's not detecting them as errors because it's unknown. So this is maybe, yeah, because that's helpful thing. Nice to see you, Enrique. Yeah, particularly with type issues, it's super difficult to reproduce them. Okay. But it's still not showing us an issue in, oh, I was running TSC. That's the problem, there we go. So we have, yeah, okay, so there we go, now we're reproducing it. Now I want to see what we can change in order to get rid of that issue. And I think I'll just pull out this for now, and we can investigate that separately. But right now, we should have no issues. Okay, but we do. So, and also you can just look up at that, the sort of red index.view. There should be no bug there. Okay, so I'm just going to start pulling out types, and I'm pretty sure that this is going to be related to the Nuxt imports, and we'll have to import get current instance from Vue. This is all in service of making this a minimal reproduction, right? So if the issue isn't auto imports, then if I can get that out of the equation, it'll be a much better scenario. Okay, so we still have the config public problem. And maybe we should add a, yeah, I think we can pull this. Yeah. So that is an issue here. And is it an issue here? Yeah. And let's just compare that again with TSC. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so we're seeing these are bugs. Let's just update our. Oh, we get rid of that, I guess. Get rid of view routers, explicit types, app config. We don't need build. If I get rid of plugins, that is relevant. We can get rid of our DevTools and telemetry types and our app default types, which are only really used by async data. And yeah, this one is a super difficult one to reproduce. So again, I'm trying as much as possible to see if I can get it down to a very little amount of code. If we go into plugin types, basically the type for config is actually, I don't think, a plugin, but the root one is. So we have router here, which is exposing router. And we also have, I think view router might be a bit different. It might be injecting that differently. But I think I can get rid of a fair number of these things. So this is nothing. Oops. What is that? No, that's fine. Could I just replace this with record string unknown? Okay. No, that is, I don't know which one I needed to have. Let's undo all of the changes in this file. And I can also tackle this a slightly different way, but I think the thing that I care about is this. Yeah. And so I think I can just reduce it to that. No, I can't. There's one more. Evidently unhead. Revive. Well, I'll just leave those there for the moment. Now what we're doing is we're augmenting 3 things in Nuxt. So we have view runtime core, view runtime DOM, and view. So I'll just change those to view. And that's still displaying correctly here, but as far as TypeScript is concerned, that's causing an issue. I think that's because I have a couple of other places where we are injecting it. Specifically in schema. No, that is only augmenting view. And we can get rid of that. In components, though, we have some global components that we augment 3 places. So let's again just replace that down to view. And then I think within Nuxt itself, we also have config. Yeah, so we're augmenting those here within the Nuxt code base. I'll get rid of those. And that reduces us back down to where we were before. So now we have exactly the same number of issues that we had before, but we've massively reduced the surface of what might be causing them. So I'm just going to pull those out of our directory here. I'm going to rename this to be, let's call it types. And we're going to rename our tsconfig to extend from types tsconfig. So we can still reproduce the issue without Nuxt running at all. And now let's see if we can make that any better. So I don't think we need the schema at all. So I'm going to get rid of that and remove the reference to schema. And I actually think we can reproduce this without components. Let's see if we can get rid of that entirely. Does that change things? I think it has, because we were using the Nuxt root announcer and Nuxt layout. So we'll just get rid of that for now. So I don't think that was the issue we had. And we'll open type test. Sorry, if this is really boring for you, please tell me. Jack, nice to see you. Okay, so we basically at this point, again, still have the same number of issues that are reproducible. Hello. Hello, Barney. You're not being petted enough. Okay. The cat requires petting. Okay. So at this point, we have a very much limited surface, and I think let's make it even more limited. So these Nuxt app injections, I think we can simplify that. And let's get rid of our server tsconfig, which isn't needed. Okay, what else can we do? We can remove the usage of this alias. Okay, not making any difference. And the .js extension, is that required? Does it make a difference? No. We're still loading in the correct bit here. Thank you very much, Lannister. Okay, so we can, in fact, I think, do we really need this at all? Let's see if I get rid of that. Anything happens? No. So we're not actually using any of the injected plugin types, so we can get rid of them entirely. So now we're just pulling in Nuxt and Vite client. Cool. We don't even need this. And we're still having our issues. Okay, let's see whether any of our paths, our aliases here are causing the problem. I should be able to get rid of all of them, almost all of them. So build, imports, urouter, this might be relevant. View demi. I'll leave app for the moment. See if I can get rid of the rest. Might be Nuxt, might be relevant. Nuxt schema, unplug in view router, all the views. Let's get rid of them. Anything changed? No, nothing has changed. Let's get rid of Nuxt as a path. Also not changed. Let's get rid of app. View router. Okay. So now we have basically, okay, I'm going to get rid of any of our explicit includes or excludes, which means we can fall back to the defaults. Okay, this is still showing these issues. Let's try this again. Okay. So this is all very, the cat is Barley. Here she is. Want to say hi, Barley? So okay, this is good. So this is basically saying that component custom properties. So why is config not being defined on component custom properties? Because we are defining view. Where are we doing that for config? This is actually just might be my mistake here. Let's see. In setting up the reproduction. Okay, we have augments. Aha. Oh, sorry. We were doing this in a file which I have, I think, removed from the state of play. We were doing this in types schema. That's a shame. So I now need to get it back. But the good news is that the way we've done it, I should just be able to run Nuxt prepare again. Okay, so we have Nuxt types schema, and in there is this this bit here. And I should be able to pull that out in short form, stick it in here, and none of this augment is required. Should just need to have that, and then reference this in nuxt.d.ts. Yeah, okay. So that means that we now should not have an issue here. Okay. Let's see what else is augmenting component custom properties in our project. Nuxt 4 project. So Nuxt 4 is delayed because of stuff that's not in the Nuxt project. So we're waiting for Nitro's release. So I cannot provide an update because I'm not in charge of that. So I can't say when that will be. But I appreciate exactly how frustrating it is. Don't worry. We need to take the time to test it after Nitro is released. So that's the thing that has to happen. Okay, interesting. Let's see what component custom props. Oh no, we're looking for component custom properties. Root and router. There were still a couple that I hadn't got rid of. Oh no, that's from the generating. It's going to be good. The Nitro release is going to be good. There's a lot of very nice stuff coming our way. Okay, these are just extending view. This also. This. That's the problem, because this is in view. So augmenting component custom properties isn't going to apply to app context because it's coming from view runtime core. That's a view bug. So I'm just going to annotate that. So view core bug, because basically the custom properties here are in view runtime core. So augmenting view isn't going to make any difference because they're not imported from view. So and yes, welcome Undertale. Okay, so we have to augment view runtime core. Okay, cool. So that's fine. We know that we have to do that. So for config, let's open our schema, and we're actually going to just do view runtime core and augment that. And that should mean that things work. It doesn't though. So we now have this being augmented as any, probably because Volar somehow requires it also to be view. So let's see. No, and why should that affect it if it's coming in from view TSC? I mean from TSC itself. So this is, it's typed in the IDE, but it's clearly not typed here. And maybe I should also somehow specify let's just see what's going on. Again, so we have Praz, good to see you. So yeah, config and template isn't being respected, which is probably also because this global properties is, okay, so maybe I got it wrong. Where's global properties coming from? It should be component custom properties, which is exported from view runtime core here. Ah, okay, but that's not working because, probably because it's not installed. So explicitly, let's just make explicitly install it. Interesting. We now have 2 errors because now route is not typed, and so let's see if that is caused by this. Okay, route is not available to us because this is crazy. This is triggered by installing view runtime core. Okay, now I want to see if I can, by the way, reproduce this without Nuxt entirely, because I think that will simplify the reproduction and the figuring out what the issue is. So I'm going to go into use Nuxt app, and we basically have a interface called Nuxt app, and Nuxt app is augmented, right? So let's say we have a function here, and we export a function use Nuxt app, and it returns Nuxt app. And Nuxt app is export interface Nuxt app, and we do a module declaration, and we say declare. We actually let's see. We might not even need to do that. So basically, we have we're expecting that we have config available on Nuxt app, and it's just explicitly typed there, right? So and root. Actually, we've always had this issue with root. We just hadn't been testing it properly. Okay. Does it make any difference if I drop Vite? Does it make any difference if I drop Nuxt? Yes, it makes a difference. That's probably the type of Nuxt app itself. So basically I want to type this as config as, I don't know, foobar. And then I also want to augment it and I will say and we're going to say route is going to be and we are going to just first make it a type file, and we need to do this. Yes, Undertale, the restrictions on use ID will go away because the way use ID works is different in Vue core. So you will be happy with that, I think, I hope. That's interesting. Go root location, we'll say pull that in. Okay, so we should be able to pull this in from there. And also, let's just move this out of pages again, and we'll just try this. Okay, so we are narrowing the reproduction down. Okay, so basically we shouldn't now be using Nuxt types. Oh, no. We shouldn't need Nuxt types. In fact, schema, this is the only thing now that we're doing where we need to say config is going to be foobar. And I think we can get rid of that, okay? And we need to export something to preserve the module syntax. And this can actually just now come into our augments file. And we'll just pop that in there like this. And hey presto, I don't think we need this anymore, types folder. So what is it complaining about? Okay, that's fine. Right. Okay, so we now have something which isn't dependent on Nuxt at all. So let's just update our package and remove Nuxt from it so that we hopefully can reproduce this without. I'm going to get rid of our scripts. Okay, we've installed stuff. And now can we still reproduce the issues? Oh, well, public is, we now need to change that. So the config should be public is that. And there we go. And basically, we now need to change that. So the config should be public is happened. Okay, so let's see. Let's just reproduce. Oh, we should get rid of our Nuxt config. obviously doesn't work anymore, and our output isn't needed, and Nuxt isn't needed. So this should be a much simpler project. We have an augments file, a tsconfig, type test, and we should just be, okay, let's see, test.view and test.ts. And let's just stick all of these in a source folder, I guess. Okay. Oh, do people not have a video? Okay, I think there was maybe an algora or a restream hiccup. Okay, so we've got our dependencies coming in, and let's just run our TSC. There's one TSC error, and our view TSC has 3. But they are the same error. Okay. So the issue now that's coming from TSC and view TSC is that this root doesn't exist. Well, that's actually expected. Is it? So we need to augment it. I think that might just be my augment though. What am I doing wrong here? I want, maybe I'll just use a path. Okay, so basically this should be working fine. So we're importing use Nuxt app, and it should be augmented. Yeah, so that's fine. Okay, so this is good. So we're now back into a position of reproducing the issue. So the issue is that global properties, which is coming from view runtime core, is not augmented with root. It is being augmented with config. So, and I think this is because view router needs to augment runtime core. Okay, that's the issue with view router. And actually this is all view router. So yeah, but I'm not sure this solves all of Nuxt issues, but it does solve one issue. So, and the issue here is that view router, so we need to do one of two things. So I think let's open up view runtime core, and let's see if we can fix it there. So we have a d.ts. Okay. Now what we're doing is, okay, we're importing component, oh no, we're not, component custom properties. And we're saying that they should be augmented from view runtime core, and I guess that's true. So either we augment it from there, or or in which case we change view router. Okay, let's just confirm that we can basically use this again in. I'm going to make this Nuxt app, like this, so it is copy pastable between the two projects. Oh, and I need to augment it. Okay, so great. So basically we have like a reproduction. Chore, remove Nuxt. Now let's create a new project and open that one up. Okay, we'll open Nuxt app 2, and I basically want to see with this fresh project, can we reproduce the issue with the same code that we had. So our test view file, if I paste that in, we run view.tsc, TypeScript, and if we then run our type check command, is there going to be a problem? And the answer is yes, there is going to be a problem. This should be Nuxt app. Okay, no errors with a fresh project. What about with a, oh. What about with TSC? All fine. Okay, let's update the Nuxt version. And run our same type tests. Yeah, it's all failing. Let's see if we can fix them by updating the generated config. We have our components, and we have our view runtime core in DOM. We have our plugins. Runtime core and DOM. And we have Nuxt itself, which is augmenting where is it? Which is augmenting global properties. Okay, and now we are encountering the same issue again with view router. But we're not encountering the same issue with config. Oh, this should be now view runtime core. Yeah. So, okay. I think I'm happy with this. And in a sense, knowing what to augment. Let's just open the view documentation and see what, because I think this is part of the problem. The view documentation specifies that we augment this on view, but that's not going to affect the augmentation on get current instance. Okay, so I'm going to make the reproduction much smaller now, because we basically have a clear example of what we're talking about, and it is very straightforward to reproduce. We're going to remove all the Nuxt stuff, and we're just going to do root and let's see. Okay, so we're just doing root, and we're going to copy the same code into test. And oops. And I don't think we need to use Nuxt type stuff at all. So it's just this. And the issue is this. Okay. Let's just comment that out for the moment. And do we still have an issue? We do. Good. Okay, so basically the issue is that augmenting view doesn't augment the custom properties. So that's I think the simple issue that we can reproduce. It doesn't require view TSC. This is a super simple issue. We can just show some code and maybe even reproduce with the TypeScript playground. Cool. Okay, so we're going to try that. So I'm just going to basically add some types. View router and view. Okay. And I want to show the code fail like this. Great. So we can reproduce this pretty straightforwardly. Great. Okay, this is excellent because I think this is actually a useful contribution to the ecosystem. So we're going to open view router, and I think so. What is it? Component custom properties? This is also possibly a view bug. See that see that is typed as any. This type should be augmented. It is not. The reason this is occurring is that the type get current instance returns is based on the component custom properties interface exposed from view runtime core, not the version exposed from view. So augmenting view's interface does not affect the type returned from get current instance. This means that documentation on is probably incorrect, or we need to modify the code in view runtime core to import an interface from view. Is everyone with me? Is anybody with me? Do people feel like this makes sense? Good. Is everyone with me? Is anybody with me? Okay. Whoa, I think I missed some chat. Yeah, sorry, the chat disappeared because I think we basically ticked over. We lost the video. And yes, the docs are incorrect, actually, I've just said. And hey, Wolgar. Great, okay, so I think this is correct. This is a correct summary of this. And I will just ping Eduardo. And maybe he can see what he reckons. Hey, Horv, nice to see you. Cool. Okay, so I think that is, I think that means we should augment view runtime core for component custom properties in Nuxt. So we will fire up Nuxt and open out our, I have a work in progress PR. And basically we'll have to augment these in different ways. So this one, okay, and basically merge, quit, and get checkout. This is basically a very quick way of seeing the changes that I've made and being able to revert them directly. So component custom properties should be augmented on view runtime core and not in other places. So I think that's probably what we would want to say based on what I've seen it so far. And if everyone does that, that should be correct. We shouldn't need to augment it on view runtime DOM. Okay. Now where app is coming from, this is so tricky, isn't it? Okay, so we shouldn't augment component custom properties anywhere else. So global components is fine. We can keep that. And this is component custom properties, so this should be runtime core and not view. So this augments should basically, I'm only going to change component custom property augmentation. So it's just a single change. Fix augment component custom properties from view runtime core. And I'm just going to very quickly build this. Yeah, we need to investigate global components, because global components I think is actually only used by Volar, which means it probably has to be augmented on view. So we probably have several different things that we have to check and basically make sure like where they need to be augmented from. And actually there is an argument that this needs to be done and simplified from view itself, or somehow we need to document it and let other people know, like let people know how to augment these things. Okay, so we've built this, and I'm just going to pop into packages Nuxt and pnpm pack them. Oh, it might rebuild it, and we'll get a tarball that we can install in our reproduction. Okay, so let's just pop in here and see what we can do. And I think this is only changing stuff in Nuxt, so it should be fine. And we should run TSC. I think ideally what you would do is you would augment, I think I've changed my mind on this stream. So I think ideally we would augment these prop interfaces as low level as possible. So like if it's required to augment, like if like view re-export stuff from like view runtime core and view runtime DOM, so it will inherit the values from those things. So ideally we only augment the lowest level thing that is exporting the type. But it is complicated because it means we basically have to know what to augment. Okay, so we have an issue. And this is probably not defined because of, oh, there's probably one other place. Yeah, you spotted it, Bobby, in the in schema, which I hadn't originally handled, and that is we need to modify view runtime core here. Okay, and I'll just pack it again. So now we should be able to reinstall it and rerun our TSC command. It should hopefully work. Nope. I think we didn't reinstall. But anyway, so that works fine. And what happens when we run view TSC? That works fine. Okay, so this new PR seems to fix all the issues that we previously were diagnosing. Okay, so now we need to investigate, therefore, these should be all the issues that were reproduced with the router. Let's try this pages index. Make sure this still works for okay, seems fine, right? Florent, yes, had a good time away. Okay, this should fail again. So we have to open the schema and change it to view runtime core. Okay, and now it is also failing for route, because now we're relying on view router, and view router needs to augment that bit. So I think this is just view router needs to do that. Okay. Okay, and until it does that, we are probably in trouble unless we do something like this ourselves and add the route for view router, but I think it needs to do that. View router needs to do that. Okay. Okay, that is good to know. I think this is a view router bug. Hey, Florent, thank you for subbing. And yes, we do need an alert for that, for sure. Okay, so let's sort out global components. So Bobby, what is the issue with global components? Stuff like Nuxt layout. Okay, so this is coming in, good. And we also have like Nuxt welcome. Okay, so these things are appearing as we expect. Although that we do have an issue with Nuxt welcome being any. That is a separate issue. And I'm not sure it might be like a performance issue with Vola, that it's not inferring the type for a view file in node modules or something like that. Okay, so, okay. But I'm happy with the result of this. I think basically this PR is now right. It now has updated these things for runtime core. What are the other things? Okay, so we also have, okay, this should be, we should update the docs. Oh, and I think we might also need to update the other augments. Are there more augments? Oh, no, just that one. Global components and app. So we should investigate app and component custom options and component internal instance. So in a Nuxt in a pure view project here, these things. So we want to see. Oh, Mate, it was good to see you, and welcome, Damien. One in, one out, right? Okay, so yeah. Okay, so we would want to do, so get current instance is component internal instance. So probably the same is true here for component internal instance needs to be view runtime core. Yeah, I think so. So that needs to be pulled into here. And component custom options and app. So if we imported that's also runtime core. And if we import app, Also, all of this is runtime core. Okay, so let's try moving this all into runtime core. Okay. And let's pack it again. Okay, let's see what our other view global components. I think that has to be view rather than any subsidiary. Now we do some stuff with imports. Which we might also need to investigate, but first let's just test this in the project, in a real project. Oh, and I think we might also need to update our hoisting, but let's just confirm that. So we need to remove, no, this is all fine. Thank you, Left Blank. I'm really glad to hear that. And yeah, let me know if what you encounter as you dive in. Okay, let's see. UTSC. Yeah, we're expecting that. We should confirm that this actually still does work if we Okay, this is all good. I think this is the correct fix in this PR, but I do need to just confirm there was another issue that people reported. We need to figure out whether perhaps there was something else to do. So okay, so I want to test this with a ecosystem CI, except that root at the view rotor is not going to work. We know that. Okay, what's failing here? Probably nothing. Ah. Oh, it needs to be a bit bigger. No, sadly I'm not. Next year, for sure. I would love to be there. I had an amazing time last year, and I wish I could be there. Okay, now, but we also need to investigate not just the root issue, which I think needs to be fixed in ViewRouter, but also this bit here, where we have the format number not existing. And this is coming from our imports, I think. And these, we have our declare module. Component custom properties should, will need to be view runtime core. Well, let's first see if we can reproduce it. So if we just had view and we try and access abort navigation or something here. It actually seems to work. No, it's typed as any. So let's try is not any. There we go. And run viewTSC. And yeah, that doesn't work. So we need view runtime core. Does that now work? Yes. Wait, what did it say before? Yeah, so it needs to be view runtime core. And let's see what's doing that. Is this configurable for us? No, this has to be configured within unimport, I think. Let's just check. So we have this type, and we have the generate type declarations, which is coming from unimport. So let's open unimport and fix the issue. Okay, and this should be okay, it does seem to be doing it already. What is showing up here? So declare module. Ah, I see. Unimport must have removed it since then. Okay. Okay, we're going to make this simpler. So declare module view interface component custom properties. I'm going to say foo is bar, and then we're going to say and foo is going to be bar true. We're going to access foo bar ooh, that's interesting. That works fine. Maybe it's to do with node modules. Because this appears to be but that also works fine. Ooh. I think the playground point still works. Okay, so what are all of the issues that have been raised that are relevant here? So I think these two issues and here. I think those are linked. Okay, I think that is it. I think those two changes in unimport and viewRouter will fix the issue. But I do need to make a PR probably to viewRouter to make that happen. So we need to do declare module. Oh, declare module view. Use view runtime core augmentation. Wait, someone's already done it. Let's see. Yeah, okay, this is exactly the same change. So no need to create an extra reproduction, an extra thing for it. Great. Created a reproduction of the issue at this is the correct fix, I believe. Okay. Cool. Okay, done. Let's do something else. So are people still around? Is this still the latest version of the people still logged in, basically? What's going on there? Okay. Let's just see what's not building. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to need to fix that because it looks like it's not fully correct. Okay, let me fix it then because it's clearly not right. Okay. Okay, let's see. Right, so what are we doing? Okay, we have app context app Nuxt, and app is coming from app context, which is view runtime core. So we have Nuxt, and we have augmented it here on view runtime core. Have we installed view runtime core? No, that's probably why. Let's try that. Package Nuxt view, and we need view runtime core. Yeah, okay, that's all that was needed. And we also need to hoist it again, probably. Here. Oh, it is. Is that really true? I guess so. Are we using compiler SFC anywhere? Yes, in the schema. That's probably why it's required. And runtime DOM is being used. No, it's not being used, so I think we can drop that. View runtime DOM from hoist list. Cool. Let's try that. Cool. I think that's right. Ensures that only view runtime core is augmented for most core view interfaces, but augmenting components from view. It needs to be paired with fix2 and cool. Right. Let's see if there are other. Oh, you know, I think actually I'm probably at time. And I'll go and play with my kid and so on. But it's lovely to have all of you with me this afternoon, and I hope this is a helpful fix. It's a bit of a painful, and I hope not too boring thing to dive into, but I think it's a big blocker for the next version, the next minor version of Nuxt 3. So yeah, hopefully let's get it out. And yeah, again, thank you everyone, and I will see you all next time. Hopefully back on the streaming train, so it shouldn't be too much longer. And yeah, until then, see you later.